I have 3 full siblings and a half sibling. I'm the youngest, 20, a middle brother, 21, and an older brother, 25. When my mom was 5 months pregnant with me, she found out that my father was having an affair with a married coworker who was 8 months pregnant. It was revealed that the married coworker's baby was my father's. She divorced my dad. My dad was a deadbeat. Mom was awesome growing up. Brother decided to have a 19th birthday party at my mom's house. Mom and I came home and a girl was there. I realized that it was my half-sister. I was shocked. I had never really had any contact with this girl because we lived in different cities, and to be honest, I never had the desire to have a relationship with a stranger just because we had the same donor. Eldest brother agrees with me. She tried to give me a hug, but I pushed her off me and told her not to touch me. My mom, on the other hand, lost her crap. She asked him what the hell she was doing here and how dare he bring her into the house. My brother said that he just wanted to introduce her to us and they had been in contact for the past 6 months and he looked my way for help. I looked away. He took her home and we sat down for a family meeting. My mother essentially told James that him having contact with our half-sister felt like a stab in the back and that the sight of that girl brought out all the ugly feelings that she had pushed down years earlier. After noticing that nobody but himself wanted contact with her, he told us he wasn't going to have contact with her. I thought that was that, and life continued as normal. My grandmother passed away and left everything to my mother, who was her only living child. Mom drafted a will where she split that inheritance between us 3 equally. 3 months ago, mother and older brother ran into my brother at Starbucks with my half-sister. Turns out that middle brother had been letting her stay in the apartment that my mother had pays for and she had been there for the past 4 months. My mom said nothing at the time, but a couple days later she emailed us a copy of a new drafted will. She had split the inheritance between my eldest brother and I in half and had left middle brother $25 and my grandfather's beater car. He lost his crap, came to the house and asked me how mom could do this to him. I instantly rebutted with a well, what the hell did you expect, and he called me a raging jerk and I told him he was an ungrateful idiot. Mom pays for your tuition and your bills and you decide to house the one person that she told you she has issues with. My mother hasn't stopped paying his tuition or kicked him out of the apartment, so it's not like she left him destitute. That girl just wanted to know part of her family and y'all threw her out like the trash. She isn't responsible for her and your father's actions and she shouldn't be punished for that. She didn't choose to come into the world this way. I think you are the idiot for not trying to understand why your brother sought a relationship with your half-sister, same with your mom. Y'all could really do with finding some compassion. Everyone's the idiot here. It isn't your half-sister's fault she was born to a cheating father. She deserves to know her family, but it isn't your responsibility to form a relationship with her if you don't want one. Your mother is hurt and that's understandable, but her anger is directed at the wrong person. Your brother should have respected her wishes, but I don't think it warrants disinheritance. Your mom is being terrible. Your half-sister didn't do anything to your mom. She had no choice in being born or who her parents are. If this was your dad or his other woman I would get it, and your brother shouldn't have surprised everyone with a half-sister, but nearly taking him out of the will because he's being kind to her. No. That's cruel. You are the idiot for not realizing how evil it is to ostracize someone for the circumstances of their birth, and it punished people for not doing the range thing. Update. I asked my mom why she was so upset to the point of cutting him out and she said, I have 2 sons and 1 daughter, not 2 sons and 2 daughters, and he made me financially support her while hiding her. Yeah, I don't think my stance on this is gonna change, thanks for the input guys. Final update. This all happened 4 months ago. When my mom and eldest brother saw them at Starbucks, mom immediately walked out and went to her car. Eldest brother asked him about her, and middle brother has never been the one to do well under pressure and blew up and told him she's been staying at his house. They came home, mom went upstairs and virtually disappeared for a week. Eldest brother gave me the breakdown. Since the whole ordeal, middle brother asked her to move back into her parents' house. No, her mother and stepdad weren't abusive, they just don't let her get crap-faced in their house. And I know this because for the last 4 months, middle brother has been trying to rebuild the relationship he previously had with all of us. He lied to everyone about her and would act sus as hell now that I think about it. Always saying he was hungover and that's why I couldn't go visit him in his apartment. At this point, I don't care if he talks to her or not, I truly don't, and all I've ever said in this thread is that eldest brother and I want. But if one day eldest brother decides he wants another sister, that's his business. As long as he doesn't try to bring her to my wedding or Thanksgiving at mom's, I don't give a damn. Regardless, I think middle brother is more interested in regaining his part of inheritance than in talking to her, so everyone painting him as a saint needs to realize this. He threw her out the moment he saw she was messing with his financials. And I know this because I received an irate message from her on Instagram 3 days ago asking me why I hate her, so much to the point that James decided to drop her in favor of us. I told her no one asked him to drop her, he did so because he wanted his part of inheritance back, and I didn't hate her, I just didn't want anything to do with her. My sister had quadruplets last year. They are very cute, but some of them ended up having some mild health issues. Nothing serious, 2 of them need certain medications, and 1 of them has a few food allergies. My sister and her husband had an important event they needed to go to on the other side of the state, related to work. It wasn't something they could afford to miss. They had hoped to reschedule because of the pandemic stuff, but the vendor refused to reschedule, and if they missed it, they would be out a source of income. So, essentially, their hands were tied. I don't know much about their business, but I know both of them need to be present for whatever reason, so they asked me to watch their kids for them. I said sure, I am out of work right now, so I told them I would watch all 4 of their kids and take care of their dog for the week in exchange for buying my groceries for the month and $50. We were all happy with this arrangement. I was taking a bit of a loss, but I was happy to help my sister in a bind, and I know she was strapped for cash. My sister's kids are identical. I can only tell one of them apart because they have a distinct birthmark on their shoulder, the others don't. I haven't spent much time around them before now. I was worried about missing the medication or giving meds to the wrong baby, so I decided to color code them. Using their clothes didn't help because I had to change them so often and they all shared a wardrobe. I took a non-toxic marker and drew stars on their hands, but that rubbed off almost right away, so I put a little star on their foreheads where they wouldn't be rubbing with their hands. This worked pretty well, and I was able to make sure everything went smoothly and everyone got the medication they needed. My sister came home and saw that I'd drawn on the babies and was pissed. She said they could have gotten ink poisoning, which isn't something I've ever heard of. She also was mad because the marker smudged and got on her furniture, but it's just Crayola, it's washable. The babies seem fine. She called me an idiot for not being able to tell my nibblings apart, especially since I'd spent a full week with them. I honestly can't tell if she's more mad about drawing on the kids, the furniture, or the fact I can't tell her kids apart. I didn't think it was a big deal, but she's really mad and her husband refuses to get involved. Am I the idiot? You know, I was all set to say you're the idiot here, but after reading, not only am I voting not the idiot, but that's kind of genius. Medications are important and making a mistake, especially with infants, can have catastrophic consequences. I think it was actually pretty damn smart of you. And you checked the toxicity of the markers and everything. Maybe your sister was just a bit shocked to see her babies color-coded like that, but it's better than screwing up their medicines. It sounds like you went out of your way to check you were using a non-toxic marker first, and better that than mess up some medication. Whilst it seems like an overreaction on the mom's part, please just remember that one child is exhausting and stressful enough, let alone 4 at that age, so please don't let this wreck your relationship long term. No idiots here. I'm surprised she herself didn't suggest painting their toenails a different color. I know that is how that a lot of parents would tell their identicals apart or help family tell them apart. Is that not a thing anymore? She wasn't being an idiot, I don't think, just being a little overprotective. You weren't being one either. You did what you needed to do to make sure the right babies got the right care. My cousin, Lily, and I are the same age, so our moms have always pushed us together. It was fine when we were kids, but as we grew up, we became very different people. Our moms never seemed to get the memo, though, and continued to force us together, and this led to a lot of resentment and jealousy between us. When we were both 20, I introduced my boyfriend to our family. He was an engineering student and my entire family kept praising him for how smart he was and asked Lily why she couldn't date a guy like him. Her boyfriend at the time was unemployed and not in school. Well, a few months later he broke up with me because he needed to figure out who he was, only to start dating Lily less than a month later. I was devastated, but due to family pressure I pretended everything was okay. My ex ended up dropping out of school and Lily and he got married shortly after. After finishing college, I decided against moving back home and instead went very low contact with my aunt and Lily. We're currently 27 and I have only seen them a few times since. Lily and my ex now have 2 kids together. Early last year my boyfriend proposed to me. I never introduced him to my extended family, and as far as everyone was concerned, I was happily single this whole time. Obviously, he now had to meet the family, so I decided to host a party at my parents' house. My sister was helping me plan everything, and she mentioned that Lily and my ex were having problems, and it looked like they were going to get a divorce. I decided against inviting Lily because my ex was not the only relationship of mine she'd sabotaged. We ended up having the party, and it went great. My fiancé got along with my family, and everyone seemed to like him. I did ask that no one mentioned anything to Lily or my aunt, and it seems like no one did. Fast forward to a few weeks ago, and my parents were hosting a BBQ and invited me and my fiancé. My family have since met him a few times, all without Lily being there, and he has become very close to my cousin who he is helping switch careers into his field. Well, Lily and my aunt came to the BBQ, so I had to introduce them. Lily noticed this wasn't the first time the rest of my family were meeting him and asked one of our other cousins about it. She mentioned the party. My aunt and Lily ended up chewing me and my mom out, saying we were making the family pick sides over an issue that was already over, that my lack of invitation was implying Lily was a homewrecker, that I was petty and insecure. My mom was angry at me because she hadn't realized I was purposely excluding Lily. Lily and my ex are currently separated, and my mom says she now needs her family around her more than ever. She wants me to invite Lily out with my fiancé to make up for everything. A part of me does feel guilty, but not enough to invite her out. My sister told me to tell them to back off. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot, she will try to steal your fiancé. You owe them nothing. Family doesn't treat family like that if they want to stay in contact. Lily is welcome to get family support, just not yours. She is in the wrong, and anyone dictating you just letting things go most likely does not have your best interest. They are trying to make their life easier. She purposely sabotaged your previous relationship and ruined your ex's life. He dropped school to marry her. I can't believe that your mom still forces you to get along with Lily after what she did to you. How did the rest of your family take the news after she took your ex-boyfriend? If your mom doesn't want to understand or respect your wishes, you'll probably have to have a long talk to get this through her head or limit contact with her as well. Just because you guys are the same age doesn't mean you have to get along. Not the idiot. Lily should have and should be the one apologizing. I'm surprised your mom did not call them out over this. I mean, you've been low contact with them for 7 years, but now that you're engaged, they think they have the right to be upset. What alternative universe are they in? Keep your distance from them, they just want to take all your joy away from you. I am a 17-year-old girl, and I have 3 younger step-siblings. Children of my stepmother and her ex-husband. They are 2 8-year-old twin boys and 1 5-year-old girl. My parents want me to do a lot of helping out with my siblings. It's probably my biggest chore right now. I like it in some ways, they're good kids. But in some ways it's frustrating because I feel like their mother when I honestly don't even think I ever want kids of my own. So, my friends at school and I have a joke that I am a mother of 3, that I'm a teen mom, that the kids are my kids, etc. It's kind of funny, it's a way to make light of something kind of stressful. My friends tease me about being a soccer mom, about how I'm gonna get a minivan soon, about how I've got my midlife crisis coming up soon, etc. Within the friend group they'll ask me how my children are. They'll call me a wine mom. When I started dating a boy they asked when my 4th child would be on the way. It's all silliness, and I tease my friends about crap too, so it's not like they're bullying me or anything, it's just how we joke around. And this kinda joke has gone on out social media a few times, in silly ways. I didn't mention it to my parents, like why would I, it's just a dumb joke. But my stepmom saw a comment my friend made on Instagram about how I missed a party because of my children. And she started looking through all my social media and found a lot more references to the kids being my children. She was mad at me and asked what was going on. She said it was disturbing I was pretending to be the mother to her children, that I was talking about my teen pregnancies, that I was treating my little brothers and sisters like my babies. I said it was a joke, nothing more. She said she didn't see how it was funny, honestly it came off as screwed up and crossing the line to claim someone else's kids as your babies publicly. I had to tell her that the joke started because my friend saw me taking care of my siblings, so much that they thought I was practically their mother. This really offended her, and I don't even know why, because it's the truth. I said it's just a joke, and it's probably one my friends will keep making because it's funny, and all she had to know was that it wasn't serious. She said that wasn't okay, and even called me creepy. Am I the idiot for joking about being my sibling's mom? Not the idiot. To some extent your dad and stepmom are abusing you by making you the parent of your siblings. Start keeping a secret log of everything that you do for your siblings and the amount of time that you care for them. When your stepmother brings this up again, show her how deep your involvement is. Be prepared for retaliation, though. I have a very flexible schedule. My part-time job lets me pick my hours, and I'm a student, and my parents are incredibly busy, so I take care of my little brother a lot. I help him with school, get him outside, take him to appointments etc. So my mom and I joke that he's my son. If you're taking care of a little sibling that much where it feels like you're their parent, 100% you should be able to joke about it to help relieve some stress. Not the idiot. That is way too much childcare. Chores should be things you do to give back to the household that gives to you. So you would help cook and clean because you need to eat and you're a certain percentage of the dirt and mess in the house. But babysitting your stepmom's kids for up to 14 hours a week or more is ridiculous. Where is your mom in all this? Can you live with her instead? Also, I would suggest sitting down with your dad to talk this out. It's not right that you've become the Cinderella of your family and it's his job to protect your well-being.